here today. My name is Jazmin Flores, and I'm the lead promotora with the East LA Women's Center. And today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the work the promotoras are doing out in the community. And I'm going to share my screen. I would like to share a little bit of my presentation. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to start by saying, what is the purpose of a promotora? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the word promotora. The promotoras are community health workers. And the purpose of the promotora in this initiative is educate and bring awarenesses to the communities most impacted by this pandemic.
Jazmin, can you speak a little bit slower
Okay,
for our interpreters?
For
Thank you.
That. We are able to reach the most isolated industry workers, business owners, street vendors, and those most vulnerable. How? By providing information and resources on how they can help stop the spread of COVID-19, by giving them small steps to follow, also how to have access to COVID-19 tests, and most recently, to the vaccine. And here are some of the places that the promotoras are going to do the outreach by visiting local grocery stores, shopping centers, laundromats, restaurants, and many other different places, gas stations, out in the neighborhood, and many different places in our community. Also, we've been reaching out the underserved communities, not only providing resources on COVID to the homeless, but also providing them information on how they can access to food, shelter, and mental health services. Also, as Ms. Solis said, the Department of Public Health provides us with over 10,000 face coverings that we've been able to provide to the community, also with some hand sanitizers. We've been also visiting some local businesses, providing them flyers so they can post them on their doors, windows, counters, and also providing information to business owners on how they can follow the safety regulation that the Department of Public Health is requiring. And most of the business owners are very happy with our work in the community. And why is this approach so necessary? There are a lot of stigmas and misleading information on COVID-19 and the vaccine in our communities. There is a lot of fear in our communities when it comes to COVID-19 and the vaccine. We want our community to have access to services, not only regarding COVID-19, but also health, food, legal, and mental health services. And many of the stories that we hear out in the community is the challenge that our community still have accessing these services, especially legal services and health services. Some of the barriers that we found and encountered in our underserved communities, there is a lot of distrust in these communities. Members of our communities want to speak to people that can relate to them, people who speak the language, people who look like them, and also people that know their communities. That's why the work of the promotoras is really important in these communities. There's also a lot of lack of knowledge and lack of access to technology. We need to understand that not everyone in our community has access to these services. There is a lot of misleading information. We hear a lot from our community members that COVID is not real, that COVID is a lie made by the government because the government wants to get rid of the Latinos. That's why they are afraid to go to hospitals. That's why they are afraid to go and even to get the vaccine, because there's a lot of fear in our communities. Also, accessibility to testing and vaccine sites is a problem because many sites are drive-in and do not allow walk-ins. So we need to understand, like Dr. Ferrer says already, and Hilda Solis, that many of our community members doesn't have transportation or doesn't have access to technology. And that's a big issue in our Latino communities. Our current efforts through our community initiative program, 70 East LA Women's Center promotoras have reached over 25,000 community members by providing them education and awareness on COVID. That's why I think personally that the promotoras are really, really essential doing this work because we are women of colors, housewives, women's grandmothers, uh, and the stories that we hear out in the community, those are our own stories, and we can relate to them, and and we can understand the fear of our community. And my presentation is really short. In conclusion, our work has proven that it takes a united community to reach and faster and safer to end this pandemic. The promotoras provide a friendly reminder to the community and lets people know that why and lets people know that they don't have to do this alone. We need each and everyone in our community to make this possible. I want to thank Hilda Solis, especially to Supervisor Solis, because she always recognized the value of the promotoras and the importance of these women doing the work out in the community. Thank you very much. And thank